Hello, everybody, wherever you are. Good day. So, right here in the United States, it's good afternoon, and I know in London it is good evening, and in Nigeria it is good evening, and somewhere in the world it could be good morning. I want to say a wonderful day to you all, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Whether you're newly married, whether you are a single father, married father, double marriage father, whatever you are, happy Father's Day to you. Welcome to another intriguing episode of A Mother's Burden, Parents' Burden, raising multicultural children in the diaspora. I tell you, this thing is not easy. If it was back home, it probably would be easier for us, with the children we have these days. My name is Omolola Festus Adedayo, and with me today on the show is Barbara Spence. Barbara is a professional colleague and mother, sister, and now she's my friend. I am snatching her away from Ogochukwu. She's there laughing in the studio. You can't see her now, but she will come on.
Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us, Barbara. It's so wonderful to have you again.
And it's good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. I am still yet to recover from our last episode. I'm telling you, it is so interesting. It is really, really interesting.
Yeah,
I
we had
know.
a good time, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes, we did. We did. I tried to bring my teenage daughter in
Yeah.
to come and ask questions, but she's
Yes.
like,
Oh,
you
she's shy.
know.
Oh,
So
wow.
Barbara, how have you been?
Yeah, it's been actually, it's been what, a few weeks since the last time?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I've been
absolutely.
fine.
Yeah.
Working hard, loving the Lord, doing your
Yeah.
bits, and then the children. I've had all my children around, so it's been a very hectic month. I mean, I
I
think
can't imagine.
this is the first time in 5 years that I've had all my three children in one country, not in one house, in one country. So
Wow.
it has been quite an exciting month for us. But yeah, very busy.
That's good. I know, and exciting too. I can't imagine.
No, no. We
Well, I
even did
still
a
have
family
mine.
holiday, so that was good.
Oh, that's good. I still have mine. I'm not an empty nester yet.
No.
So they're still here and it's very busy for me. I can imagine how it is for you.
Yes.
And they're grown up, right? You said.
Yes, they are. They're all grown up. So yeah.
Good,
The
good.
youngest is in university, so
Wow.
because they go and come as they please, she's hardly in the house. So she's around. But yeah,
Oh,
they're all
good,
adults
good.
now, yeah.
Good. So we will be picking it up from where we stopped the
Yeah.
last time. I know we were talking about dating, and we branched off into so many aspects of dating, and of course you did share a personal experience,
Mm,
how you got to know that your daughter is seeing someone. So how is it going so far?
yeah.
Let's gossip a little bit about her, if she
Yeah.
doesn't mind.
Oh, no, I think I have independent daughters, so and they know, they often say to me, if you don't want mom to tell people about something, don't tell her, because she shouts it, she's proud about it, and she's letting everybody know her joy. So I said, I'm working on that, and perhaps you know, I could be like Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist. That I always,
Yeah.
if Mary didn't go to her and then the baby left at the sight of Jesus,
Mm.
nobody would have known that Elizabeth was pregnant,
Yep.
because
Yep.
she was waiting on the Lord until the right time. So sometimes as women, maybe we need to learn a bit of that and try to make sure that we bring it out. But yes, my girls are fine, and I think um, the one that we talked about last time, that was her beginning, her beginning of dating. So she's a mature woman now and does her own thing and has her own relationship. So that quite moved on quite quickly, but she also soon left that guy. And I think one of the things that she said when they split up was she was in uni, and then I thought, oh, the two of them have been dating for a while. And she come on one day and says, well, we're no longer together. And I think, okay, why? What happened? I said, what happened? Because, well, he loves me too much, and I can't cope with his emotional burden. You know, it's very poignant, because I thought, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because sometimes what we don't understand, or what our young people don't understand, is when you go out with a person, not only are you managing your emotions, you need to be prepared to manage their emotions. right? Because this person could be one that can never express themselves. And you're left wondering, is he or isn't he? Or is she or isn't she? And then he could also be, or she could also be one that is full of emotion and constantly need attention. How
Mm.
you not get irritated by them, because you're also going through your own thing and in your own space, and you need to let them know, or you need to tell them to step back a bit, but you also don't want to offend them because you also like them. So I think it's it was a learning curve for me. And she's saying he loves me too much, so I'm just stepping out. Actually,
That's
was
funny. That's
yeah,
really, really
quite
funny though.
interesting
Because
for me. Yeah,
growing up, you and I will be like, oh yeah, it's good if the guy really loves me,
yeah,
and showing all the emotions and displaying all the emotions. And this is new to me.
yeah, yeah. This
And
was
it's
years ago. I learned this thing about, well, let me see her age now. This is about 11 years ago, you know. There's no, I'm at university, I'm here to study. And
oh,
he's
wow.
so emotional. If I'm doing something with somebody else, why am I not doing it with him? And if I did it with her, where is he in the matter? I should be first place. And it doesn't mean I don't want you, but I also want to be me. So I think it was a very important learning curve. These girls always teach me. They're teaching me how I should have done relationships. To be honest,
Yes, and that's so
teaching me
important.
how, yeah, and I'm not shy in telling them that
Yeah.
some of these questions, some of these statements, if I was able to make it, maybe
Mm.
things
It's
would be
it's
different.
and
Yeah,
and I can hear from that independence. I want my own space. I don't want you to flood me
yeah,
with your emotions. And that would lead me to, like, how do we separate emotions from knowing that this is genuine feeling
mm,
and it's not born out of jealousy? Because sometimes when you're too emotional, and especially with kids these days, boundaries are usually blur.
yeah, very blurred. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's something I'm teaching my teenage daughter, that right now she is kind of, I think she's owning up to her boundaries,
mm,
and she doesn't mess with her boundaries. She really doesn't. She's 13, going on 14 in
yeah,
November, and she will let you know, like, no, you cannot come in here. This is my space,
yeah,
you know. And of course, I would joke with her that I am paying for that space, and she would be like, "Yeah, but it's still my space, mom."
yeah,
And
yeah,
I do. I'm learning from them, like you said,
mm,
and I'm still yet to get over this. Oh, it's too emotional. Like,
yeah.
I really hear that, and I appreciate the independence she's oozing out. I want my independence. I want to be free to, hang out with other people. I want to be free to do some things with other people,
And
because
when we talk about boundaries as well, it's also I don't know, it's semantics that sometimes we can override it, because the modern day young woman is so independent. Sometimes we're also forgetting that who we are as human beings, or in the scheme of God's creation, that a woman is to be nurtured and to be loved. And then if God says that a man must love the woman like Christ loved the church,
yeah.
Christ gave himself for the church. He didn't say the woman to give herself for the
Mm,
husband, but to be
mm,
submissive to the husband.
mm.
Now we also think, okay, this is all in the relationship. Does that mean that the girl should just go with everything the guy comes up with? No, because if the guy loves you like Christ loves you, he's available to listen to you. But at the same time, you have to also allow him to be the head. For him to be the head, he's sometimes going to step into some of your independent space. Okay.
And I don't
Because
think
he
the girls of these days are ready for that.
And for me, that is where sometimes we're saying the guys, modern day young people don't want to be responsible. It's just because they now become scared of that independence of that woman that doesn't allow him to have an ego. It doesn't allow him to come in as the man or the person you want to work with, but in working with them, you accept that there's going to be certain levels of them being the head. If you were, if you want to be loved, I want to be loved. So I want the man to love me. So I want the man to love me. A man cannot love me if when he's coming, I'm coming to, I'm self sufficient. You're right. You stand there. I can do what you can do. I can buy what you can buy. I can walk where you can. I can get my own car. I do my own work. I can feed myself. And then when we go out to dinner, the bill comes and we're splitting it 50-50.
Mm.
Already, for me, the old fashioned way, oh, am I disrespecting the guy? Or actually, he wants to go out with me. So he should take the charge and actually show.
It's funny. It's so
So
funny
it's a
you
lot of
say that
semantics
because
around this.
yes, and the dynamic is shifting. The
Yes,
dynamic, the traditional dynamic, and of course,
yes,
there are still some guys that still practice chivalry. I mean,
yes, yes.
cavalier,
Nothing wrong with it.
whatever it's called. There are still some guys that believe in that, and honestly, I respect guys that do that. In our time when growing up, you look up to the guy like, okay, he's the guy. He
Yeah.
should be like the protector. He should be the stronger one. He should be the one that will open the doors, that would,
Mm-hmm.
let you go in first,
Yeah.
pull out the seat for you and make you sit first, and defer to ladies first, you
Yes.
know. But these days, and I think with what we're talking about now, it boils down to integrity,
Mm-hmm.
personality of the individual involved. We are raising strong women.
Yes.
We are raising because the rate at which the world is shifting. We're raising
Mm-hmm.
women that I want to be sure that when my daughter is out there, she
You
gets
can cope.
a head up high.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Yes,
cope.
yes, that no man is talking down to her.
No.
But I think, and that's where we revert back to boundary is in relationship, how can we teach our girls to understand boundaries and know that, okay, because I'm a girl, I should defer to the guy in some certain things, which, and even when you look at the community that we are in, I'm
Mm-hmm.
in the US, you are in the UK, and I know that in the US, of course, some of the guys don't care. Like, okay, you want to pick up the bill, that's fine.
They'll let you do it. Yes, everywhere. It's not just in the
Yeah,
US, the whole
you know,
world.
yeah, and I think sometimes it's getting into some guy's head and it's making them feel like she's got it. I don't have to bother about it.
You
And
know? Yeah.
that is overstepping boundaries and it's
Mm-hmm.
giving the woman a lot on their shoulder. So
Yeah.
how do we teach our girls to know their boundaries, to know, okay, maybe we should go back and say, how do we move from dating to relationship and then talking about boundaries in dating that transit into relationships?
Okay. So one of the things that when we dating, when when I'm talking to my young girls, I'm saying to them, okay, when you go into dating, you have your list that you're ticking off with this person that you've just met, that, he gives you the flutter in the stomach. This person that when they're around you, you're not sure whether you want them to touch you or you don't want them to touch you. You have a list of things that you want to see. You have to also think that that person, that guy or that girl also has a list that they're taking. So if you accept that you're not the only one actually dating, because dating is exploring each other's behavior, characters, understanding ourselves, and then saying, actually, I like this guy or I like this girl.
And in the process of dating, you can date more than one person because
Yes.
it's dating. I'm still trying to window shopping, if I can use that word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still window shopping. I can date A, I can date B, I can date C. And of all my dates, who do I feel more comfortable with?
Yeah.
Who do I think that I want to take the next step with? Who do I think it's more responsible, has this independence, and can actually respect my boundary while I am respecting their boundaries? But that is no room for promiscuity, if I
Yeah.
say that right.
Because this is what I was coming to, that the multiplicity or the fluid of dating, a woman is emotional. Let's say
Yes.
for me, and a woman, in the best sense of the word, if they're looking at one person, it's very difficult to also look at another. Okay. So
Yeah.
for me, yes, that's why before you agree to give yourself to a man, there must be the man that you find worthy of you.
Yes.
Okay. Because I say to them, it's all this, because I remember in Sunday school, I used to have some of the young girls say to me, so, oh, there's no sex before marriage and blah, blah, blah. And we have this feeling. What are we supposed to do with it?
Hmm.
I said, these feelings are there. And I think we talked about it last week, that last time we were on. The feelings are there. You learn to manage the feelings. And that's a whole different topic. We have steps that you can do to manage those feelings. So if you have feelings for one person, I don't think you can be dating another person. However, if this person that you're dating is not ticking your boxes, don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
Don't stick, keep going. And this is how you become suddenly, oh, we've been together for 2 years, so we might as well move on. No, because what then happens is you are consciously picking the wrong person. But if in your engagement as friends, platonic friends, this person doesn't tick your boxes, you need
Yeah.
to move on and let them know. Communication, you don't have to get married before communication becomes important. Communication must start at the beginning of every relationship.
Yes.
What are you looking for? What am I looking for? You know, we're young, we're doing this or we're not doing this. I don't like this, you do this, because we've come from a very different environment. Unless the person was brought up in your house, you are from a different environment.
And even if they're brought up from your house, you still argue,
People
you
are
still
different.
banter, you
So you
know.
have to accept the difference and actually see how you work towards it. But yes, if you need to do whilst you're dating, check the person. Know that they're also checking you. Okay. And as you check them, if this is the person that is just wanting to have fun and not really looking for you to be the one woman for him, for instance, it's incumbent on you to step out.
To step up.
Yeah, it's incumbent on you to step up. You're not obligated to. I was just talking to one of my girls and I'm saying to her, if you're dating somebody and you're not ready to, you know, show them or talk to me about them, I
Hmm.
need to make sure you're not talking to me about them because you're not ready, but not because you were too embarrassed to introduce them. That means already they're not the right person for you. But if there's somebody that should somebody find out, you'll be proud, you're proud to say, oh, yeah, I'm fine. This is so and so we're dating. Okay. But where you don't want anybody to know is because you're not sure this is person is actually worthy of you as an individual. And sometimes that is the main thing. Because if you're not sure, you
And
now accept them because they are the only one there.
and I'm
Yeah.
finding
So
out, and I'm thinking that even if you're not sure that this is the person I want to date, don't waste people's time. And at this
no.
juncture, I want to recognize Audrey Amadoye. I want to say thank you so much for the clap. Madoyebo, I see you said no, no, yes, no, no. I appreciate that. And you said you start off with friendship and then move to dating or courting. And maybe I should just clarify here what we're
Yeah.
saying. When we're talking about dating first, I want us to understand that it's, of course, you start from friendship.
Yes.
My friend, I like what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, can we go on a lunch date? And
Yeah.
honestly, I cannot stress this a lot. I tell my teenager that the other day she was asking me, she asked me, she was like, oh, okay, so what did you talk about today on your show? And I said, oh, we talked about dating. And she was like, oh, okay. So did you guys agree on the right age to start dating? I'm like, no, this is not an agreement session. The right date to start dating, when it's time for you to start dating, you would know. I would not even be the one to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, okay, so what does it even mean today?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Because like I said the last time, all she knows is, well, as long as he gives me food, he gives me his lunch
Yeah.
during school and all of that. And I'm like, well, that's good enough. That shows that he can take care of a girl, but that is not all there is to dating.
No.
You know, that is not all there is to dating. So where how do we, how do we, like when you said something like, if he is not worthy enough for you to introduce, if he's not worthy enough. Because sometimes, even as a young girl, you and I have been through that stage,
Hmm.
you feel like, okay, I think I like this person, but uh, if you're not
Yeah.
sure enough, do
Yeah,
you
and I
want?
mean, I like Mama's point of what she's saying about okay, it needs to be from friendship to dating to, that is in the ideal world.
Yes,
Okay. You are
yes,
lucky if you're going to school with somebody and your friends, and then you start talking, and then you tell that girl's friend that I like your friend. Could you think we can date? Or we are friends in class, I like you, and oh, would you like to go for McDonald's with me? Okay. Majority of the time that's not what happens. You know,
yeah,
you see a girl, you see a guy, your eyes catch each other across the room, and then you start to, oh, hi, can I have your number? I mean, the first conversation when they take your number is actually sexual innuendo.
yes, it is.
Actually telling you that I really like you and I want to take you out. Already, where we're saying friendship first, you've skipped that because you
Yeah,
didn't know that person for them to be friends. So that is why we say when you are at that dating stage, you have your list you're taking off. You have an assessment that you're making. They're also making assessment of who this person is. Then it doesn't matter whether you're the guy or the girl. You must be looking to see who is it that, because otherwise you take them out and you don't know the person that you're in, who
yeah.
you are walking with, because you haven't taken time to know each other. So what we're saying is you don't just start dating and bam 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 you're in a sexual relationship, because
And I'm
once
sorry, Barbara. Mother Yubo, we are not talking about marriage right now. That is way
no
too
no
fast. Yeah.
no
You know,
no
the thing is, we're
no
trying to let them get the
yeah, we're
concept of
letting the young
dating.
people know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
friendship is
dating.
very, very
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
I always tell people, I cannot, even as an adult,
yeah,
I can't date you if I can't see that I can talk with you, I can be your
yes,
friend. We can't
yes,
date. I
yes,
can't go into a relationship with you if I have
yes,
not dated you. I need
yes,
to know how you behave outside, when we go out to see a
exactly.
movie, when we go out for dinner or for lunch.
Yeah,
How do we relate? That's really important. And that's
yeah.
the
Even
main.
sometimes the way you hold your fork can irritate me.
Yes. Even
So
sometimes the way
I
you
might
eat.
just, I need to be able to feel free enough to say, oh, it's interesting how you hold the fork. Why do you hold it like that?
Like that. Yeah.
For that person to say, oh, well, my mom said I need to hold it like this. And that's when I said, okay, that looks weird. Why do you? It's a conversation. When,
Yeah.
something that simple will tell me the home you were brought up
You
in.
were brought up from. Yeah.
You know, I remember, as you say, me and Ogo, I was on a show in Ghana where we used to talk about family relationship. Because when you're coming to meet me, do you know that whether if we take it back to Africa, did
Mm.
I live in a compound house? Was I in a nuclear family where my mom and dad had a car and we lived with the servants, or we did everything by ourselves? Or I was a servant. Now I have made good. So I've met you. So everybody has a different environment from which they were brought up. So it's very important that our children date the
Yes.
potential people that they're going to bring home. I want you to date them before they come to me. And then
Yes.
I'll ask them questions, because my daughter introduced her partner.
Audrey, that is so, so funny. Oh, a noisy eater.
Exactly. A noisy eater with
No,
the
but you know the
slapping
thing.
of the
The
lip.
thing,
Not,
Barbara.
and then I'm wondering, how do I deal with this? But
You know, and the thing is, you want to ask yourself, like, okay, if we go to a gathering,
yeah,
let's say we're invited out, a friend is having a celebration or something, or a banquet or something, and we go out. Am I comfortable with you being a noisy eater?
exactly.
Am I comfortable with you like eating and everything dropping on the ground? Like, and like, am I comfortable with that? You know,
Yeah.
and when you are with my friends, how are you presenting? Am I comfortable with the way you present with me? Because all of
Yeah.
this you have to know before you bring them out and introduce
Exactly.
them.
And I think it's also for them to understand that it's not, we're using the word maybe comfortable or do I like it, or but that's not it, what we're
Mm,
saying. Actually, notice certain things about me. Use those things to ask me questions.
mm,
Sometimes my behavior is like that because nobody's ever asked me about it.
no,
Nobody's ever mentioned it. So I'm doing it the way I know how. I'm not
mm,
saying because I'm dating you, I'm going to change you. No,
yes,
I want you to point things out to me for me to review for myself. And I point things out to you for you to review for yourself. Because if whatever it is you're doing, I'm just not going to like it and it's just not going to sit with me, we're just not going to get on. But those are some of the telltale signs that tells us that, oh, we like each other, we complete each other's sentences, our value base is the same. Do
yes,
we have the same value base? And for me, that my eye pops when I'm dating a guy that has the same value base as me.
as
Because
me, yes,
when I start talking, I want you to understand. I don't want you to come to me and say, what are you talking about? I have been through it, like I was saying with my second marriage. The value base, Christian. I met him in church, so I believed it's a Christian base. But who the person was or is was completely different to who I am. And some of the things that I would have thought as a Christian must be understood in simple terms was always kind of an insult. So I think
it's
some of
it's
those
it's
things are
funny.
important.
It's
Yeah,
funny, Barbara. I do
yeah,
not intend to cut you short, but
no.
it's funny you're saying that, and being a single parent as well. I am very, very careful. I
Mhm.
don't want my kids to make it. I wouldn't say it was a mistake marrying whoever
No,
it
no, no.
was. It was never a
Good
mistake. I
experience.
never regretted marrying him.
No.
But of course, it was a good experience. And that is topic for single again. You and I will be on
We're
there.
doing that.
Yes, we're doing that. Everybody you're hearing, we're doing single again. Before we go on, I want to say a big shout out to everyone on in studio that you can see. They are participating, they are sending in comments. I want to say thank you so much. And somebody behind the screen, Mama, says, wow, the man loving you is better. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. I want to say thank you to everyone watching on YouTube, on Facebook. We got you guys. Thank you. But coming back here, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to A Mother's Burden on YouTube, like Aaron's page, a talk with Aduni. That's where we are, and that's where we show for live every other Sunday. And the point is, and that's something I'm telling my kids,
Mm,
because someone goes to church does not
mhm,
make them Christians.
mhm.
And it's so unfortunate. Most of the time, as Christian women, we are fall victim and we've been so gullible. I am realizing now that even people that are agnostic are better off. They behave better. They are, of course, they may be on the same page with you on your values, but they may not just believe in what you're believing in, but they are better off than men in the church. How can we tell our younger ones, especially the teenagers and the young adults, to be mindful of those things? Because those are pitfalls that most of us, Africans especially, and some of our friends where we are bringing up their children in that line. Or we go to church, we pray, we do this. And then you find someone in the church. You're expecting some certain level of civility, and that is not showing forth. And you will be
Yeah,
surprised that it is the boys in the
yeah,
church or the girls in the church that will be the first to say, oh, if you love me, you have sex with me. You will be really
yeah.
surprised.
And I think one of the things also for, I don't know, maybe my life is full of philosophical sentences.
Hmm.
One of the things that I don't cast a tar a brush with is the fact that I picked somebody or I married somebody in church who did not turn out to have the value base or the values or the principles in life that I thought they did means every guy or every woman or every guy that I'm going to meet in the church will be the same. It
Yes.
is an individuality
Yeah.
because the church that you attend is just the building in which you fellowship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your Christendom is in you,
You see
is
you.
your heart, who
Mhm.
you are. So
Mhm.
yes, maybe we got some guys or girls out there who on the outward are saying they're Christians, but they really don't have the
A
understanding
relationship.
of what a relationship should be or what expectation should be. And when you are in a place where love is spoken of in such a genuinely,
Mm.
and you're not picking it, but
Mm.
you're still walking out and choosing to come out and be who you are, nobody can help you. But
Mm.
that's not because you're a Christian and in your church. It's the person that you are. And I think sometimes we have to be careful, because I would want somebody who says they love Christ, but they don't really understand who they should be as a Christian. And we walk the walk together because we grow in Christ, we
Christ,
grow
amen.
in love, we grow in understanding each other. The person will have the baseline in themselves where they can decide, what is right. Because then it's like what Mama has just put up. Yes, the devil also goes to,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, because when you look at the Bible, when Job was going to be in trouble. Wasn't it the devil that went to God and said, "You, if you can,
Yes. Mhm.
if you were to take everything away from him, do you think he will love you?" You know.
Mm.
So
Mm.
he puts us in the position, and then so when you're in a church, yes, for me, if I were to meet another guy in church, maybe
Yes.
I would
Church
not
is a laundrette,
to
really. So I
accept. Yeah,
agree. It's an
yes,
individual work with God.
yeah.
But
But,
the thing is, I can never stress enough.
hmm,
I was talking with someone the other day and I said, it is not about me going to church. It is
no.
about my
Who?
relationship
Yes, with
with God.
Christ. Yeah.
You know, in the Bible, I have to say this. In the Bible, there is a place where it was talking about the judgment day, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to John and Lisa Bever, their podcast,
Mhm.
and John said something, was talking about judgment, and he says, on that day, and
Hmm.
that's in the Bible, he would say,
I
and
don't.
a lot of people say, oh, I healed in your name, I was in the church, I was in the choir, I did this, I did that, and he
Will
would say,
you?
no, I
Mm.
do not know you.
Yeah.
I remember when the demon was being chased out of
Ah,
he said,
Jesus,
Paul,
I
I
know.
know.
Paul,
Jesus, I know. Paul, I know. Peter, I know. But who
who are
are you?
you?
So
Yeah.
when it comes to
Yeah.
dating, when it comes to transitioning into a relationship, who is that person? And
That's
that
it.
is the essence of
That's it.
dating.
Please.
That
Yeah.
is the core of
Yes. Don't
dating.
make it a church thing. No. It's the
No,
person.
it's a
I
person.
love this person because they believe
Yeah.
in God. That's my place of
Yes.
starting. Not
That's
because they go
yes.
to church.
Mm-mm.
Because I love going to church. I want to be in church. I feel when I get up and I don't go to church, unless I'm so busy, I'll feel guilty then for the rest of the day because I want to fellowship. And sometimes, listen, I'm in the church, sometimes I go to church, I don't talk to anybody, but they don't see the joy that I'm getting just for being there. So I
Yes.
think is the person that I'll say, okay, I met this guy. I'm speaking for myself. From a girl meets a boy.
Mhm.
Oh, I met him in church. Okay, let's come outside the building. What is the value
Yes.
base? Because
What are you made of?
people sometimes dress differently in church. They dress differently when they're at work. They dress differently when they're going shopping with you. They dress differently when they're in a holiday with you. So, can you actually join all these four characters into one person? And if we let our young ones understand these principles, that
Yeah.
yes, we do say date, but let it be platonic so you can understand who this person is. Because, and I always say to them, one of the things that as an adult I've come to realize if I sleep with you, a bit of your soul is with me
It's with you.
and a bit of my soul is with
It's
you.
with you.
So sometimes when you talk to me, things I should make sense of, I struggle to.
Yeah.
So we want you to know the person before you get to that stage where they have now become, and the two shall be one, when God has not put you together yet. So
Yes.
it's very difficult to then step away. So if our young ones understand that, they will understand that the process of dating is important.
Very
if
important.
you if you're dating somebody and they say, oh, but we want to sleep together, you're old enough, why are you just being difficult? Let them know it's got nothing to do with what my mother said or my father said. But for me, I want to know who you are before I can give myself to you. And I say, as a girl, the value you have is your virginity.
It's your body,
Is
generally.
one thing that once you've kind of given it to the wrong person, you're angry with yourself. Nobody has to beat you. You
And
will
then it
beat
becomes
yourself.
try and error. Try and error.
Don't do
Maybe,
it.
maybe. Don't do it.
No,
Hold
no, no, no.
on.
It's
Oh,
not
you
necessary.
see, I told someone something someday. And of course she's a young adult and we were talking and I said, look, I think we were driving to I am in the drama ministry in church.
Yeah.
That's my former church. And we were driving to a drama event and we just started talking and I'm like, oh, so is there anybody in the radar and all of
Mhm.
that? And honestly, when I'm talking about relationship, there is nothing Christian or churchy about me. I
No,
lay it down
it
as
has
is.
to be.
Yes. And she said, well, nobody yet. I said, well, when you meet that person,
Hmm?
I said, talk about everything,
Yeah.
including sex. Talk about sex. And it's so funny because this person took it back to the church and I was in the church one day. I just walked in and I just heard the pastor saying, oh, if you're a single girl or a single man, you have no business talking about sex with somebody you are dating.
Ooh.
I was like,
Oops.
you have to talk about sex.
Yeah.
What is this person's value about sex?
Yeah.
What do they think about it? How do they see it?
Yeah. It's
You can't
because we
break
make
up
it
if
in,
you're married.
yeah, we make it, we put it on the cloak and dagger. Therefore, our young ones don't get to understand it. They don't get to explore. I always start on saying to it, listen, sex is beautiful
Yeah,
when it's with the right person.
with the right
It
person and
really
the
is
right
beautiful.
time.
And if you don't do it at the right time with the right person, you become your own enemy because you've gone to the wrong person. You're suddenly thinking everybody's going to do it in that nasty way, but everybody is different. And then I said to him, okay, so now even when we talked down to it, I actually say to them, as women, you see us all out there, you know who's got the big chest, who's got medium size, who's got a little size. Do we all dress the same?
Let me read this comment
Yeah.
from Woke Niger. Woke Niger said, until we take church out of
Yes.
dating and marriage, people will continue to be bam,
Bamboozled
bamboozled,
into relationships. Yeah.
bamboozled into relationship under false pretense. And that is
Yes.
so,
And that
so
is a nutshell
true.
of it. Yes.
Yes, yes. And Evelyn KM says, I think there's no perfect partner out there, but there should be more positives than negatives. When doing a mental checklist, you should also have a deal breaker. Yes,
Yes.
that's really
Please.
important. That is really,
Please
really important.
do.
I was
Yeah, because
listening to
you're never gonna get your 100%.
you
So have
won't.
one that I always say,
You
my
won't.
list, if you get 60%, I'm okay, provided that one thing that
That
is
is
precious
important
to
to
me,
me.
I see it in you.
Yes.
And that's, Evelyn, that's the thing. So our young people must understand. I mean, as a mother, as a parent, do we actually talk to our children or do we just see them go and come? See
Yeah.
them go and come.
Yeah.
See them go and come. And then
Talking
before
about
we know, somebody's brought it.
talking to our children today, of course, is Father's Day. Again, I
Yeah.
want to say happy Father's Day to all
Happy
the guys
Father's
out
Day.
there.
Yes.
And at church today, the youth, of course, it's a youth takeover month, and they did something. How much you know your father?
Mm.
And it's so sad because to me, I come to realize that our fathers don't do a lot of talking to our children.
No.
Some of the kids don't even know what their fathers do
Mm.
for hobby.
Yeah.
And that is some and I think when I was thinking as we were conversing, and I am thinking that, Ben, oh, I hear you, the church should do
Mm.
more and talk about relationships, dating and marriage. This, I believe, will uphold biblical relationship.
Yes, it
and,
will.
and I don't want us to shift all of this
No.
responsibility to the church. I
No,
think
no.
charity begins
At
from
home.
home. And going back to what I was saying, most of our kids see the way we do marriage and they're not interested in that. They're not interested in the way we
Hmm.
do marriage. I have
Mhm.
to say, especially in most African homes, not
Mhm.
all. I am saying some. Don't let me even say most. In
No.
some African homes,
Mhm.
our children are not, nada interested in the way we do marriage.
Mhm.
And I think for us is there was a drama presentation I did some years ago. It was just an inspiration I got from the Holy Spirit, and it is like, this couple, they're always arguing. The woman will say something, the man will be on her. The man will say something, the woman will be on him. And it is like you would, and the man was, thinking like, how can I make her happy? And
Hmm.
it's like the voice of the Lord telling him, you would not make her happy if you don't know how to make me happy.
Me happy. Yes.
So we have to go back to the author of
Our
marriage.
own
We
relationships.
have to
Yeah, with
go
God.
back to the cross. We have to go back to the one that made it. And this is very, very important. Even if you're dating, go back to that foundation, the person that created the man and the woman. Like, okay, what should I be looking out for? Because I
Mhm.
always stress this, even as a girl, you don't know yourself.
Nah.
You don't know yourself. When you're in dating or relationship, will bring out some part of you that you don't know existed. Will bring
Yeah.
up some funny feelings, talking about sex. And that's our next topic on this show. It's going to be flaming hot. I am so
Mercy.
Yes, yes. Because these are things, it's just so sad. We have an hour to do all of these things. But
Yeah.
these are things that our children need to know,
Yeah.
And Mado Yoba says, don't agree, Evelyn. You can find your soulmate who becomes a perfect partner when you both understand relationships, and even better with the Christian principles. It is beautiful. I agree with that.
Mm.
If
Well,
you
I think yeah, if you're walking the walk, you are together, you make it into your own perfect bubble. But
Yes.
when you meet, you're not perfect. And I think this is
Yes.
where Evelyn was coming from, that when you're meeting them, you're not perfect. But when you come
Yeah.
together, you work on it to make it your own. And that
Mm.
is when people see you and say, oh, what a beautiful couple. It's because you have
Yes.
been working on each other. So you have
Yes.
brought
Yes.
yourself to a place where actually, he knows I'm going to like that drum sitting there or not. Or he knows that food on the table, I'm either going to turn my nose at it or I'm going to grab a plate and, consume everything inside. So I think it's very important that, you know, this is why this is a dating and it's a mother's burden, because
Yes.
when we come to meet, it's because we've come from different homes.
Yeah.
So, as a mother, my daughter leaving my home to go and be with somebody else, would they go and then every day come and bring complaint because I didn't take the trouble to talk to them? And it's not what, African women, when we're saying we're bringing our children up, we're teaching them how to spend 3 hours in the kitchen.
In the
No,
kitchen.
no, 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 no. For me, these
It's so
days,
funny you said that because
yes.
I have a girlfriend. She is Congolese, and she said something. She said, "Look, where I come from,
Mm.
when you're preparing a girl for marriage, you are teaching the girl how to have sex, how to make
Yes,
love."
not
I
the
was like,
food.
"Wow, really?
Yes,
I wasn't taught that."
we weren't. We were African. We've had to read. We have had to read.
Yes,
I
we
have
have to
had
read
to
Meals and Boons,
listen. Yeah,
Temptations, and
yeah,
watch movies. And
yeah,
like, I was
yeah.
like, that is so
Yeah,
good.
because those
I
3 hours of
was
telling me how my daughter can make better soup is irrelevant,
It's very
because
relevant.
when they're ready and the food is what they need to cook, because the character has brought them into a place of safety, they
Yes.
can learn if they want to.
Yes.
The day the times are going, our mother spent 3 hours in the kitchen because they had to set the coal pot, they had to put the saucepan in, they had to cut the things individually, they had to sit down and blend it. I have friends in the UK who actually still want to blend things individually in the porter and pestle, because that is a traditional way. There's a blender. I want to do it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So therefore, my child does not have to know all of, because that is a delicacy for the modern day food, well, and the environment they're in. If they want to eat it, now somebody has also made it their job and put it on
On
YouTube
YouTube.
so they
Make
can
it
go and
easy
pick
for
it.
them.
So I believe that the essential things that we need to teach them. I have my house clean. So if my child, even if they don't do the cleaning, when they come to live in their own house, they will feel the environment they lived in was clean. So automatically they'll start
They'll
cleaning
keep
up
it
around
clean.
them
Yep.
because mom's not there to do the cleaning.
Yeah.
If I say to my child, you know, you need to have a bath every day, you need to brush your teeth for this reason, this is how I want your knickers to look, this is how I want you to fold, I want you to do this and to do this. In the beginning, they might even challenge you. But when it
Yes.
comes to it, they will suddenly hear mother's voice. But it's
Yes.
because we don't speak to them and then we complain because, you didn't say anything. Look at that. You did it. You did it. And
It's
the
funny.
tittle
It's
tattle
so
and the
so
snapping.
funny we mentioned that. My mom,
Yes.
she's downstairs now. I don't know if she's watching. She would tell me, Lola, you're not teaching this your daughter.
Uh-huh.
I am like, she wakes up in the morning, she can't say good morning, she can't clean the house. A
Yes.
child, a daughter needs to have a chore in the house. I am like,
Yeah.
she does it. No, no, I haven't seen her do anything. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so she's
Yeah.
talking with you. Like she would do it when she has to. And
Yeah, and I
especially for the
think it's
children we
good.
have
I
upstairs.
mean, I also want my child to go out to somebody's house and actually
Yeah,
see my friend in the kitchen and say, Auntie, please, do you want me to wash the
to
dishes for
work.
me? I
Yes.
want that. I want you to
Yes.
have the courtesy of if somebody walks in the house, I need you to welcome them properly, respect them.
Yes.
Come
Yes.
down
Those
if you're
courtesy, those
upstairs to
are
say
basic.
hello. Yeah.
Those are
So those
basic.
are this so
Yeah.
those little etiquettes we need to give to them.
Hmm.
And then when they're going around the relationship, let them find a way that the man can love them and they love the man. If they do that, even the one who can't cook can learn how to cook because he will be next to you and we
Yes.
are all learning together.
Yes, yes,
So I
and
think, yeah,
honestly, Barbara, I really wish we can go on. We have
yeah,
we have a very very few minutes before my producer
yes, we do.
and director starts shooting me like, "Hey, wrap
The
up." We have
hours do it.
5 minutes, and
Yeah.
honestly, guys, unfortunately, I don't know if we can continue this or not, but we will try and see what we can do about this.
Yeah.
If this is really
It's
interesting.
very
But
important. Our
yes.
relationship these days for our young children,
It's
and it's
really,
also
really
very hard
important.
for them. You
And I
know
think honestly we should focus on we should start from their
Yeah,
house. How are they relating with us and their
themselves.
siblings?
Yeah,
That is because it's the way, like I always tell my two when they start bickering, I ask my younger one, he's the he, and I'm like, how would you feel if a guy outside is
yeah,
talking to your sister like this?
like that.
And she's like, I won't be happy. So why are you talking to her like that? You
Yeah,
know, so we have to build that from the
we need to
house.
be intentional. We need to be
Yes, to be
intentional
very
with our young
intentional.
ones. We
Thank you
need.
to Audrey. We really appreciate
Thank
this.
you.
It's been awesome indeed. Yes. Barbara,
Yes,
final
oh.
words before we leave.
Lola. I think my burden as a mother doesn't always only stop with my three daughters. I have loads of young ladies around me, and forever my prayer is they will meet the right person. And when I
Amen.
say the right person, they know what I mean. So I think as we continue to talk, I think we need to talk to them. We shouldn't wait for them to go and bring. If
Yeah,
you talk to them when they go, they find, they
yeah,
find and then they bring home because they know the values with which they're supposed to be looking.
yeah,
And
yeah,
until we can do that, our young ones are struggling out there
yeah,
because it's a lot of it's a lot of pressure
yeah.
on everything these days.
Thank
Even
you so
McDonald's is expensive.
Yeah, thank you
McDonald's
so much,
burger.
Barbara.
Thank you, everyone.
Honestly, I'm going to rope Barbara in the next episode, and I hope I can come with another guy because we're talking about sex. We
Yeah,
want to talk about it from the father's perspective and the mother's
yeah,
perspective. And please, if you have any question, please drop your question on our Facebook page. We will answer the question in the next episode. I am so sure that we've all learned a thing or two, especially from this episode. Special thanks to Barbara Space. We really appreciate you for a wonderful show. And all of our subscribers, thank you so much, Linda Nana, for subscribing. And if you are not yet subscribed, please go on YouTube, subscribe, like our page. And to everyone out there, if this is your first time, please thumbs up, share to
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you,
Until we
everyone.
meet
It's good
July
to see you.
9th, our next episode, we're talking about sex this time around. And of course, we'll get into relationship and all of that. Please remember, we are caretakers, giving the
Yes,
freedom to make
so we have a
choices
job to do.
for our children. But we should be ready to face the consequences and dance to
Yeah.
the tune of the choices we make for our children. Until I see you July 9th, please take care and stay awesome. From me, bye. Thank you, Barbara.
Bye, everyone. Bye,
Bye.
Lola. Bye bye.